Hey guys, welcome to episode 30 of the Tea in Tokyo podcast. My name's Saumya.
And I'm Ellie.
And what are we talking about this episode?
So this episode we visited Odawara Castle, which was on our way to Hakone, which is famous for its onsen and some tourist spots.
Yeah, that's right. All of that coming up right now. Alright, cool. So this is pretty exciting. This was our second overnight trip outside of Tokyo. A couple of months ago we went to Nagano, and this time we went to Hakone. If you're outside of Japan, you probably don't know a whole lot about Hakone. But for people living in Tokyo, Hakone is a super popular weekend getaway because it's only 1.5 or 2 hours away.
It's like a wee onsen town, so it's super popular for people to travel to be surrounded by nature and to enjoy some like beautiful outdoor onsen.
We took the Shohin Shinjuku train from Yokohama down to, first we went to Odawara. So Odawara isn't quite in Hakone, but it's like, like a 50-minute bus ride.
It's still within so Hakone is in the Kanagawa prefecture, and so is Odawara.
Oh yeah, true, yeah, that's right, yeah. We wanted to go to Odawara because of Odawara Castle. Odawara Castle is the closest castle to Tokyo. It's this really nice white... It was like 8 stories tall, right?
I feel like it wasn't 8 stories.
Okay, maybe it was like 5. But yeah, like we had heard about it quite a bit, that there was this cool castle that was not that far. And we were going to make like a day trip out of it, but we thought, hey, if we're going to pass it anyway, we might as well get off here. In this podcast, I decided that, we should deep dive a little bit more into these places that we go. Mostly because I've been listening to a podcast about like The Office. It's called Office Ladies, about the TV show The Office, and they always have like these facts in every episode about each in each podcast about each episode. And I was like, you know what, we should have like more facts as well.
So we did a lot of research this time.
Yeah, and by a lot, like 15 minutes before we press record. But that's all you need. So Odawara Castle was built all the way back in 1447. So it's like 200 years. Or maybe like 100 years older than the one that we went to in Matsumoto. It apparently, like when I was doing my research, it said that it had been destroyed 3 times, like rebuilt 3 times. But then, when I dove a little bit deeper in, I couldn't figure out why it got rebuilt the first 2 times. So the third time, though, in 1706, it was destroyed because of the earthquake. And they had to rebuild it. The
earlier ones, I feel like every castle in Japan has been destroyed from like fires because of sieges.
Yeah.
So I'm going to make a guess that this one was destroyed for the same reason.
I wouldn't doubt that, actually. Odawara Castle is where they actually, the rulers of like modern day Tokyo,
the Edo era,
lived. I don't think so. I think it was way before the Edo era, actually.
Okay.
I could be wrong about that, actually. I have no idea.
But it did used to be like the sort of like, instead of Tokyo being the central, Tokyo used to just be a port. And like Kanagawa, Yokohama, Odawara was like the main area, right?
Yeah, Tokyo wasn't like, Tokyo wasn't shit before like 100 years ago. And also, it was actually deconstructed in 1870 for some reason. It wasn't even a fire or anything. They just decided, hey, let's just deconstruct this thing. So the castle that we went into was technically built in 1960, but it was built based on like the diagrams and models of what it used to be hundreds of years ago. But
you could still, like, it looked really cool from the outside. So Odawara Castle was like fully white on the outside with black roofs. So it looks very like aesthetic, very nice, and very old school. But on the inside, it's like super modern. So it's set up more like a museum. And if I had to choose between the style they have for the modern Odawara versus like the actual old school Matsumoto, I would totally go for Matsumoto Castle.
Yeah, for sure, yeah. Matsumoto still had the original architecture, like the super like steep stairs and all that kind of stuff, and like the floors looked all ancient. Whereas this one,
it's like
when you're inside, when you're inside, you don't know you're in a castle. You might as well just be in like an office building. And
it's set up like a museum where each floor has like, I don't know, stuff from the original castle, like pottery and stuff, and like information tablets around it. So
like archaeological stuff, like things that they had found around that area. One thing that they have that's really cool is they have the Ninja Museum and the Samurai Museum in there, which is like, it's not like, they call it the Ninja Museum, the Samurai Museum. It's like, half a floor each.
Yeah, I didn't even realise that was a special thing. When you said that right just then, I was like, what are you doing?
Yeah, but it was kind of cool to see like the samurai swords, or maybe they're ninja swords. What is the difference between a samurai and a ninja? I don't know. I didn't even realize we were looking at ninjas.
Yeah, I thought it was definitely because they had the full-on like armor from a samurai, which was cool.
True, yeah, that's definitely a samurai. Oh, we did see some like shurikens, so maybe that's the ninja one.
Yeah, but that was in the gift shop, right?
Oh, was it? Okay. Alright, well, yeah, never mind. But yeah, like, the artifacts that they had inside were definitely pretty cool. But, yeah, I definitely prefer the ancient look. But you know what? When it's being rebuilt in 1960, like, what the hell are you going to do?
Yeah.
You know?
I think it's one of those things where it was definitely, like, a cool place to visit. I wouldn't make a whole trip out of it. Like, I'm glad we did it on the way to somewhere else.
Yeah, definitely. I'm glad we didn't just go all the way there just for that castle.
Yeah, because, like, for example, again, the only other castle we've been to is Matsumoto, so it's our only, like, thing we can compare it to.
Yeah.
Reference. Good. I would recommend, I reckon you could totally do a trip for Matsumoto Castle, but I wouldn't do a trip for Odawara.
Yeah, yeah.
There was also a wee sad, like, outside, it's fully, like, gravelled around it, and there's, like, this really sad kind of small monkey cage with, like, a bunch of monkeys in there.
Yeah, it was slightly less depressing than I originally thought, because like from afar it looked like there was one monkey on like a rock.
Yeah, they do have a wee jungle gym for them to play on, but it was still a very small enclosure for a pretty big amount of monkeys. It turned out.
For sure. Yeah, I said like if the zombie apocalypse ever happens, like I want to go there and just free all the monkeys.
Yeah.
Man, their fur was really nice though. They had some like nice, like shiny, like super fluffy fur.
Yeah, they were those snow monkeys that you always hear about. So it was also sad because it was like monkeys that you normally see pictures of them like chilling in hot springs surrounded by snow, and they were just in like a rock in a cage in the middle of summer.
Yeah, that's
so
kind of a sad life. And also like, you know, what are they really adding much?
Yeah, I don't think that maybe it was to show, hey, these used to be here naturally.
Yeah,
so
maybe.
We've caught a bunch of them and shoved them into a cage.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that was sad, but apart from that, the view of the outside of the castle was really cool.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Another thing that they had in terms of wildlife is they had a lot of spiders outside.
Oh my god, it was
like
terrifying.
massive webs. Like these golden like spiders.
And once we noticed them, we kept on noticing more. And we were like, luckily it was as we were leaving, and we were like, hey man, look at that one. Oh, another one. Oh, another one. Oh my god, let's get out of here, because they were really fast as well.
Yeah, they were super fast. That was weird. Anyway, so that was basically all there was in Odawara. So it
was like a 10-minute walk from the train station. Super easy, really close. Signs everywhere.
So we made our way to our actual destination in Hakone. Unfortunately, there wasn't really a train that goes to the place that we wanted to go. So we had to take a bus. It was a 50-minute bus ride.
So we were staying in an area called Singokura, which you have to catch the bus for. There is other places in Hakone that you can catch the train to. But we chose a slightly further away Onsen area.
That first day we didn't really get up to a whole lot because we got there kind of late, but we did have our first like onsen experience. Well, not really. Originally, like the first thing that we went to was a jacuzzi. It was basically a jacuzzi.
Well, but it was called there like, so this was the private onsen that you could book. It was outdoors, but yeah, it was a jacuzzi.
Yeah, like as a first experience, I was a little bit disappointed just based on what I had in my head. I pictured like being outside in the snow,
like in a rock pool or something.
Rock pool, like, you know, natural hot spring, like there's a volcano nearby or something like that. And instead it was just in a jacuzzi. And
it smelled like chlorine, so it wasn't like the sulfur smell you expect from like a natural hot spring.
Yeah,
but it was still kind of weird because it was like, I feel like every other time we've been in like a hot tub, you're wearing your swimsuit. So it was still weird that, because you still do the thing where they have the separate area beforehand where you have to like wash before you get in.
Yeah, true.
And it was outdoors, so it was kind of nice.
Yeah.
Like we booked it for an hour, but there was no one who had booked it after us, so the guy was kind of like, you know, no pressure to leave immediately. But their clock was totally fast. That's the other thing I noticed, because on my phone we'd only been there for like 40 minutes and the time was like 20 minutes behind.
Yeah.
So I reckon they must like speed up the clock, like, and reset it for each one. Maybe. Which was a little bit like, maybe it's so they have time in between to like clean.
Yeah, I think we paid like 4,500 yen each.
Not each, right? I think it was together.
Oh, it's together? Oh, okay.
I don't know, maybe it was each.
Yeah.
Japan does like to charge things. So you know how in most countries, if you go to a hotel, you pay for the room and then you can have 2 people in it and it's the same price? In Japan, you pay per person for everything. So it might have been 4,000 each. I'm not sure, I can't remember.
Now, I actually also went to a more proper onsen. Because onsens, I guess, are meant to really just be public baths, right?
Yeah.
That's what they traditionally were. Now, I did this the next day, but screw it, I'll just talk about it now. So yeah, so I decided to go to this onsen. So Ellie didn't want to go to the onsen. Right?
I wanted to. So it's like in our hotel there was the public bath that we had paid a 300 yen bath tax for it. So I probably should have because we'd paid for it. But like, I don't know, I'm just like, I'm too self-conscious of the idea of like me being this like chubby white girl showing up with all these beautiful like thin Japanese ladies. You know, I don't know, I just have this like imagery in my mind of like, of how uncomfortable I'll feel in that moment. So I need to do it so that I can realize that that's not how it works. But,
yeah, it was basically like me thinking that, you know, it was going to be outside in a volcanic area with snow, like... That's not how it really is. You know?
Yeah. You've got these expectations about something, and I need to just like, you know, bite the bullet and do it.
Yeah.
But you did it.
Yeah, I went. I decided to go at nighttime, so I went at 11 o'clock at night because I was like, you know, less chance of people being there. It was really different from what I was expecting. Like, I walked in. So from what I've heard is like, you know, there's the area where you change, and then there's like a shower where, you know, you have to wash yourself before you go into the onsen, and then you go into the onsen. But it said, like, I walked in, and essentially it just looked like you were walking into someone's bathroom. So, like, you know, there was a sink there, like, where you wash your hands, and then there was, like, a lot, like, kind of, like, these open lockers. And I was just wondering, like, man, is this it? Like, is this the room? And I couldn't see where the showers were. So I was thinking, like, oh my god, what do I do? Like, do I just get naked here? But what if, like, this isn't where you're meant to get naked? And I'm this, like, dude who's, like, naked in, like, the hallway, essentially. So I didn't really know, like, I didn't know what to do. So I had a little peek inside, just to see what was in, you know, in the other room. And, well, it was the actual onsen, and there was, like, a person in there. So I was like, okay, well, those people are naked in there. So I'm pretty sure I have to be naked before that. So, yeah, I took my clothes off in this bathroom thing, and then I was like, alright, screw it. You can't be embarrassed. You can't, like, let's just do this, you know. So then I took my clothes off, and then as I was walking in, this one guy was walking out. So, you know, gave him the wee head nod. And then I walked in, and there was still one guy in there who was just, like, he must have walked in, like, 2 minutes earlier, because he was having, like, a shower to get in. So then I had to have mine, and...
Oh, but that's good, because you could copy him. You saw where to do it and what to do.
Yeah, so the shower, like, it's not what I was picturing at all, where, like, you know, there's a separate shower room, and then the onsen is in a separate room. The shower is right next to the onsen. You know, like, the water from the shower is basically going into the onsen. And it's not, like, the shower head isn't super high up, so you can't, like, stand in that shower. Yeah, you need to
sit. They've got the little chairs for you to sit
exactly.
on.
So it's like a sitting thing, so you get your seat out, you have a sit down, and they've got these, like, buckets that you put water in, and then you can, like, you know, chuck that water over your head. And it's not just water. For some reason, I was just picturing just a water shower. But, you know, they actually have all the shampoo and the body wash and everything. Like, it's a proper, you know...
It's because the whole point is you're meant to get clean before you get into the shared bath.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Yeah, but now, by this time, I'm not nervous at all or anything. You know, I'm not even thinking about it. I'm just like, you know what? Yeah. Naked.
Did you have the adrenaline from being all naked, so you're like, yeah,
I can do this. Yeah. So, yeah, like, the other guy got into the onsen, then I got into the onsen after. And, by the way, so this is not a big onsen at all. This is essentially, like, 2 jacuzzis joined together, except in, like, a square. So he was on one side, I'm on the other side, and then I'm just chilling. He, like, has his towel on his face, and I was like, okay, well... So I just closed my eyes, and basically I just turned it into, like, a meditating session, because I was like, you know, I haven't meditated in, like, 2 weeks. So this is going to be my meditating session. And that guy only lasted 10 minutes. He was in there for 10 minutes and he left. And when my friends have talked about this in the past, they've always talked about how, like, they're in the onsen for at max, like, 30-40 minutes. Which, like, for me, whenever I get into a swimming pool, I always want to stay in there for, like, 3 hours. So I always thought that was a bit weird. I was like, oh man, you know, like, especially if you're paying money for it, you should be in there for, like, 2 hours. Hell yeah. It'll be so relaxing. Man, it is so hot. Like, you cannot survive there for 2 hours.
I think some onsens, like, have 3 levels. So they have, like, different temperatures for that reason.
Oh, yeah, true.
But this one, obviously, was just, like, a free public one.
Yeah. So, once that guy left, I was literally just alone. Like, by now, it's probably, like, 11:30 or something. And, yeah, I was just in there. And, yeah, I mean, it's super relaxing. It's always nice just being in, like, a super warm bath. And by that point, if there's no one else there, then it's pretty much just a bath. You know, you're just in there. So I chilled for a little bit, and then I was like, alright, gotta go. And you definitely, like, you feel really good. It does have this, like... I guess, like, an almost, like, liberating kind of feeling to it. Because you're like, hey, yeah, I'm just naked in public. You know, why aren't people naked all the time? Like,
why isn't people naked?
Why isn't, why isn't this a thing? And then, then I was, like, outside, like, getting changed again. And they have, like, all these creams and stuff that you're meant to put on. So I was like, all right, get the whole experience going. But it's just like weird, just like lathering yourself in cream when you're completely naked in a public thing. There's something about that there. I don't know. I just felt a bit off. Like just putting cream all over myself.
Yeah.
Felt like I was like beginning a very like private night. Like I had to like light a candle or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then that was the end. And then and I felt so good that so another thing that we haven't talked about is that at these hotels, this is our first time wearing a kukata. Kukata. Yeah, yukata, right? Yukata is like a traditional Japanese robe that you wear at onsens. So I had the robe on.
Oh yeah, so when we arrived at the hotel, they give you like take one.
Yeah.
You have to take one.
Which I was kind of annoyed about because the girl yukatas were so colourful and the guy yukatas were so plain and boring.
Yeah, it was kind of funny.
And I was like, what the hell? This is like reverse sexism. I'm finally feeling what girls are about. So yeah, I wore the yukata on the way there, and but I had like my shorts on underneath. But then on the way back, I was like, you know what? I'm feeling super free right now. So
what, you went commando underneath?
Yeah, I went totally commando.
Nice.
And that was my first experience. It was definitely, I guess you had like painted this big picture in your head, and by you I mean me, of like what it is, and then it's like it's so much more normal than that, and it's also so much less grand than that as well,
I feel like for me, there's also like I have this concern as like in a hygiene thing. I don't like the idea of like sitting on that same stool to wash myself after someone else has sat naked on the same stool.
Yeah, that's true.
Like for me, that's like that's also one of the things that I'm kind of like anxious about, because like it just seems a little bit like potentially, I mean, they're washing themselves, so if they have any like, I don't know, STDs or something, it's probably getting washed away, but I'm still like, I don't know, you're putting like your genitals up on the same seat as someone else just put their genitals.
Yeah, but you don't have to sit on the seat, you can always just squat.
Yeah, I think I'd probably do a squat if I was going to be. Yeah, so I guess that's probably my, like, Western mindset as well. Like, I know that it's kind of like, I don't know, it's almost like judgmental for me to feel that way, but I can't help it. That's how we were raised. But, like, so we haven't actually mentioned yet, we've jumped straight into talking about the onsen, but the name of the place we're staying at was called Hakone Fuga.
Yeah, Fuga. I don't know what Fuga stands for, actually.
I think it's just the name of the place.
Yeah.
I don't know. So like we said earlier, it's in Singokura, so you have to take a bus there, and then the actual place is a very short walk from the bus stop.
Yeah. So and the staff there are super, super nice.
It's a nice place. Like, it was the most affordable one we could afford that had private onsen.
Yeah.
But it was still like, we were like, man, we are not fancy enough for this place when we got there.
Yeah, because the meals are super expensive. So it's 9,000 yen for dinner per person. And it's like pretty expensive for breakfast too.
Like 2,200 for breakfast.
So we literally had Family Mart for breakfast, and then we went out for dinner. Yeah,
like we asked when we got there, they were like, do you want dinner? And we were like, oh no, we'll probably go out. And they gave us a recommendation of the nearest place, which was like a 10-15 minute walk from there.
Yeah.
So we walked there. I can't remember what it was called. It started with G, but they had, on one side of the road, they had like a soba noodle chain, and on the other side of the road, they had like the other version of the same hotel, restaurant. So we went to like the other side, and I got like a really nice like set meal with like, it was like rice and a bunch of like local, it looked like seasonal vegetables. It had like a broth. It had this like gross pudding that we thought was a dessert, but it was really salty, so
yeah, that was really weird. And then it also had this really nice clear broth that you like put into vegetables and you eat it, and yeah, that was delicious. Yeah, you got a lot like for the, it was definitely worth the money. Like, you got a lot with it. And it was only
way
like
cheaper than the yeah, it was way cheaper than the alternative. Yeah. Except I ordered what I thought was going to be just like a normal sake, and it came in like a shot glass.
Yeah.
And then it was like sitting in like, it had like a wooden square box that it was sitting in, that we thought it was filled with water. So I just ate the liquid from I drank the liquid from the shot glass, which it was okay. It was just like alcohol tasting.
It was a big ass shot glass though, so like, you had to like, drink it over time.
Yeah, I couldn't just do it in one shot. But apparently one of our friends saw our like story on Instagram being like, oops, ordered a shot. Turns out that all the liquid in the little box was also sake. So I only drank half my drink. I don't know how you were meant to drink it. That
was just an aesthetic design choice by them.
Which would be so annoying. So you meant to pick up this whole wooden box and just like drink from the box?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, maybe. And then I had sake as well. And man, the thing is, I do not like sake, you know. I need to like, I'm just not going to get sake anymore, unless it's like a tasting kind of thing.
I kind of like it though. I liked the way you had yours, because you got like a warm sake.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's like a whole different thing from like another type of alcohol.
That's true, but the way that I drank it that made it not that bad was they give you like these tiny cups, you know, and you pour like basically a shot and you have that. And the only reason it was good is because I, you know, downed that shot so quickly. It didn't even taste it.
I feel like that's what you're meant to do, because, like, you're using it to warm yourself up, right? Like, I feel like that'd be good on, like, a really cold day.
True. Maybe if we're outside and it's cold, I'll have that. But for the most part, like, you know, 20% alcohol is just too much for something to taste good, you know? It's like, yeah, if I'm going to have alcohol, I might as well just have beer or something instead.
Yeah.
So anyway, so that was the nice restaurant we went to. Oh, by the way, another really cool reason why why the hotel was really nice is because they have cats everywhere, even to the point where they like leave out cat food.
We say cats everywhere. On the way to the restaurant, we saw a cat, and we were like, "Oh, kitty cat!" And we tried to get it to come over, but it wouldn't come over. And then on the way back, we saw like in the same area near our hotel, there was like 3 cats.
Yeah, and then there were 2 kittens as well down the road. There was like this is a cat neighborhood.
Yeah.
And the staff seemed to be very friendly with this cat, and like...
Yeah, there was like a tiny little food bowl that they had out the front door, and there was a cat there when we arrived, and we were trying to give it love, and then the staff member came out, and we were like, oh crap, he's going to shoo the cat away. But he waited for us to leave, and then he called the cat over. And we were like, okay, you know, we like this place.
Alright, let's stop going into the tiny details of this trip.
Yeah,
let's start going into something bigger. So, Ellie and I, we were both responsible for our own little bit of research today. So I've already given you the Odawara research, alright? But now it's time for the main course of what we did. The next day, we went to the famous shrine in Hakone. So, if you look up pictures of Hakone right now, you will 100% see a red torii gate on the lake.
Lake Ashi.
On Lake Ashi. And, you know, people take photos there. It's super famous. You'll see it. So, basically, that's, like, the first thing that we decided
And it was
to
like
go to.
a 40-minute bus ride from our hotel.
Yeah. So, this place is called Hakone Ginger Shrine, okay? And this is the shrine that's right next to that torii gate. So, like, we didn't even really know that there was a shrine there, by the way. We were just there for the torii gate. So, I guess we'll talk about the torii gate first. This thing is super famous. There's a line of people waiting to take a photo there. So, we had to wait. We didn't have to wait that long, like maybe 20 minutes.
The line wasn't that big,
Right.
but they had, like the ropes to organise the line, which shows you that the line can get to be really long. Because there was, a long ropeway.
For sure. I don't know if it was because of the season or maybe it was because of coronavirus or something, but there weren't that many people. But yeah, you could wait up to like an hour, like easily.
Yeah.
And everyone's super friendly where you kind of, you know, you just ask the person behind you to take, like, can you please take my photo? And that's what we did. That's what everyone did.
Everyone in the line around us was Japanese, but they also, like, at least on either side of us, they spoke English. Because the ones in front of us asked us if we could take their photo. And
like, really good English as well.
Yeah, and the ones behind us were like the same thing. And they made comments on the photos. They're like, oh, you might need to do some editing in Photoshop afterwards. And I was like, man, your English is good.
Well, yeah, I mean, those were like younger Japanese people. And if you're younger and you're like kind of traveling around, you're probably more likely to be like that. The torii gate was the reason we were there. We took some nice photos, although our cameras are so shit.
Wait,
like,
for description, the torii gate has like a rock wharf that goes out into the water, and then the gate is in the lake. So you stand in front of the gate on the wee like wharf. Yeah. And, you know, there's the lake behind you. So it's very aesthetic.
Yeah, that's right. And the water's like kind of like coming onto the wharf. Like it's pretty low down. And everyone seems to take 2 photos. One like kind of close by, up like these little stairs on the way to the wharf. And then like on the wharf itself, like down below.
Yeah, and you try to do it quick. So you'll be like, okay, go, go, go. Take the close by photo. Run to the back. Go, go. And then run up, switch, take photos for the other person.
Yeah, that's funny. I think that's the first place I've kind of been where there's a line formed, you know, just for people to take photos.
But do you know what was crap about this?
What?
Was that out on the lake you could rent swan boats for, it was like 1,500 yen for 30 minutes or something.
Yeah.
In like half the people's photos, our included, there's some like person in the swan boat comes right up behind you in the like gate, probably getting their own great photos of the gate, but it's like, come on bro, you're ruining everyone else's photo. So
yeah, I think that's why everyone was talking about Photoshop. Like, you have to Photoshop that out.
Yeah, because like there's always, in like most people's photos, there's going to be at least one person in the stupid swan boat ruining the picture.
By the way, this torii is called the Shrine Peace Torii, or the Red Gate of Peace, but in Japanese it's called Haiwa no Torii.
Nice.
When you go up like these long steps, like through, it's in a bit of like a forested area, by the way. There's a mountain, like it's on the edge of a mountain called Mount Hakone. So you climb up these stairs and then you get to the shrine. Now, when we climbed up up those stairs and we got to that shrine, we hadn't really done our research, so we had no idea what that shrine was, and we didn't realize it was like a famous shrine or important shrine or anything. So we had a quick look, and then we were like, "All right, sweet, let's."
There was a really big line to get into the shrine as well.
True,
we were we couldn't be bothered to wait in that line, having already waited in the other line.
The line was to get to the front, so you could,
so you could do the thing where you clap and you bow, and it's like we're not religious. We're not
exactly. We're like we're just taking up people's time by being there, so we kind of left. It wasn't until later that I did research on this, and it turns out it's actually a really well-known, famous shrine.
Well, we did buy 2 charms there. So we we got 2 charms from the famous shrine.
So the shrine was built all the way back in 757.
Oh, wow.
But it wasn't originally there, so it was actually originally on top of Mount Hakone. And they only moved it in 1667 down to where it is now. And it was famous because of this guy named Yoritomo Minamoto, who was the first shogun of the Kamakura period. So this is back in like the 12th century. And a shogun is basically the guy who is the commander of a military, and the emperor like appoints him. But he's so like powerful, and he basically makes all the decisions of the emperor. He's essentially like the ruler, because the emperor doesn't really do a whole lot. The shogun kind of controls everything. Yeah, he kind of made this place famous because he went there and he would pray for victory in war. And because he was doing it, other people started coming. And now it's become, over the last like 1,000 years, it's been a place that's frequently visited by other like military leaders or like samurai. Samurai go there a lot as well, to pray, and also travelers. A lot of travelers go there to pray for like a safe trip or like a safe passage through that area. And it's right next to Lake Ashi, which is also called Ashinoko Lake, and that's where we headed off to next to sort of cross the lake because we wanted to get to the other side.
So we were looking for lunch at this point, and there was a really big, like a big square building. It was like I can't remember the name, but it was something about bakery. It had bakery in the name, and it was like 3 stories, and man, it was busy. So we tried to go up to like the top floor where there's seating, but they had no seats, and so we ended up just getting some food downstairs at the bakery. And they had some cool like seats looking at the lake where you could put your feet in water in front of you, so you took your shoes off and they had like a little rivery bit running. Yeah,
it was like warm water. Yeah. So like on a cold day it would be really nice. It wasn't that cold, but it was still pretty good.
But so we went there while we waited because we bought tickets for a replica pirate ship.
Yeah, they've got these 3 pirate ships on Lake Ashi that they've had since the 1950s apparently. I don't know why. Like, why do they decide pirate ships, I wonder?
I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure. Was there like a pirate that used to raid the shores of Lake Ashi? I don't know.
No, like, I mean, pirates on a lake is pretty like, that's not something at all.
Surely someone would find them really quickly.
I feel like in the 1950s there must have been something that made pirates like famous in Japan or something, and they're like, hey, let's capitalize on this.
Yeah.
Let's put a couple of pirate ships on. So
yeah, maybe it was a replica of an actual pirate ship that used to be at sea. I don't know.
Yeah.
But we paid, how much was that? It was like 1,000 yen or something.
That's like, what is it, like $10-11? Like just for transport, which is all good. Especially with the amount of time we saved. If we went around on a bus, it would have
been like an hour.
Yeah, it would have taken an hour.
So we took the pirate ship across to the next place where we were going. So we were going to Owakadani,
which is where this was Ellie's research now.
Yeah, I didn't do as much research as Saumya. I'm going to prepare you right now.
Ellie's literally looking at her phone doing more research.
Hey, you're looking at your laptop. I'm not doing research.
At my notes though.
Yeah, I've got my notes here.
Oh, your notes is Wikipedia, is it?
And Japan travel. So we had to catch the Hakone ropeway. So we went to Owakadani station. So Owakadani is 1,000 meters up. It was created 3,000 years ago when Mount Hakone erupted, which is also when Lake Ashi was created.
Oh, okay, interesting.
So it's an active volcanic area. So it's like a popular place to visit because you can see all the cool looking like steam and sulfuric acid everywhere. So we took the ropeway up. It took like 30 minutes. Which was pretty fun, you get a really cool view of all the places. And
I can't help, like, by ropeway, by the way, we're meaning like a gondola. Yeah. And I can't help but just think every single time I'm on one of those that it's just going to snap. Yeah. And we're just going to fall to our death. It's like, you shouldn't be that high up on on just a rope.
Do you know, my thoughts weren't that it would snap. My thoughts were that it would stop. And we'd have to figure out how the hell are we supposed to get down from this, like, rope that's, like, up in the air.
Yeah, you kept saying, like, oh, do you think we'd be able to jump on the trees? I was like, no.
Jump on the tree.
You wouldn't.
I didn't keep saying say, guys.
You said it like honestly 6 times.
I said it like twice.
No way.
Anyways, so we took the right way up to like the main stop at Wakadani Station. And then you walk out and it's very cool. There's like steam everywhere. And the thing that this area is like famous for is these like black eggs.
Well, there's like volcanic steam coming from the ground, right? And we could see it on the way up. And it smells like absolute shit though.
Yeah, it's like sulfuric acid. So
Yeah.
it smells like rotten eggs.
Yeah.
But it's famous for kuro tamago, which are black eggs. So they literally like dip these eggs and cook them in the actual like natural hot springs that occur.
Is sulfur and sulfuric acid the same thing?
I don't know, Saumya. It smells like egg.
Yeah.
That's what you need to know.
Okay.
So we got there and it was pretty busy. Like this was like I think one of the busier parts.
Which is weird because the gondola wasn't that busy and it was like, oh, then again, actually, no, wait, don't worry, I just answered my own question. People were driving up.
And also
So
there was a
that explains
constant stream of the gondolas.
Yeah,
So
that's
it
right.
didn't have to get busy.
Yeah. You know what I don't understand? Yeah, somebody tell me this. How can the gondola go like kind of quick, like on the way up, and then when it gets to like the place where you get off, it stops. You know, but it's like it's always on the same rope. Like, how does that rope change speeds if it's the same rope? You know, how can it stop on one end and be moving on the other end? Unless it changes rope, but it looks like it's on the
I
same
feel
rope.
like when it gets there, something like... So it's on the rope and it's got like a little platform at the top of it, which is then like picked up by something else that moves it along.
Okay.
But I don't know. Who knows? That's pure speculation. Anyways, the eggs. So you eat the egg and you add 7 years to your life.
Yeah, and we ate 2.5 each.
Yeah,
So
we'll let you know when we die if we live for an extra 14 years.
I thought you were going to say, we'll let you know after we've done the math on how long that is.
No,
We don't
because
know.
who knows how long we're going to live.
No, because 2.5, like, times 7. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, the eggs. The eggs were just normal eggs. They were chicken eggs, but they were black.
Yeah, so they're black on the outside. The inside is
Yeah.
normal. You have to buy 5, which was kind of annoying, because, like, who wants 5 eggs?
Yeah.
So we bought 5 between us. We saw, like, a group of girls of 5 girls, and they bought so many eggs. I was like, there's the perfect number of you to just spend 500 yen and get one each.
People love their eggs in Japan, though. You know what's weird, right? The other day, I was listening to a podcast. It was Armchair Expert, and he had David Farrier on. And he was talking about how, because he had, Dax Shepard had lived in New Zealand for 3 months when he was filming Without a Paddle. And he was talking about how, man, Kiwis love their eggs. You guys put eggs on everything. And I was like, what, do we? And he was like, yeah, you have this, put an egg on top. We got that, put an egg on top. And I was like, man, is that a thing? Because I feel like Japanese people love eggs, but like people
Maybe
have
we
that.
just both love them equally.
Yeah, but I've never really noticed New Zealand having eggs on everything. But
Although we
maybe
haven't been
do.
to America, so maybe in America they have no egg sandwiches.
True,
no
maybe
egg
they
salads.
don't. Yeah. What else you got, Ellie?
What else I've got? Apparently on a clear day from the ropeway you can see Mount Fuji. But I don't believe that, because if there's constantly like the clouds of sulfur, like are you ever going to be able to see Mount Fuji?
Yeah, yeah.
But supposedly you can. We did not. And-
But the view from up there, by the way, is like... Well, the actual view of the scenery is good, but like the actual area isn't great for photos and stuff, just because... Well, first of all, you can't see shit because of all this smoke, of the steam. But even when you can, it's very industrial, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure they use the steam to produce energy, so it basically looks like a big ass factory. They have workers, walking
and
around.
like the area's all
A lot of
dead
machinery.
around it because obviously there's not enough like oxygen and stuff.
Yeah.
It was still nice. So
Yeah.
it used to be called Great Hell, but in 1873 the emperor visited it and for some reason they changed it to Owakudani. I don't know why. It doesn't actually say.
Great Hell. Great Hell makes sense though.
Great Hell sounds way cooler.
Yeah.
Like, it looks like, you're about to walk into the depths of hell. But yeah, so that's basically it. Apparently, I found later on, there's like a nice short hike. Like, if you walk all the way past everything, like past the restaurants, there's like a small trail that you can take to do a walk around the area, but we didn't know this at the time. So we just kind of explored and, ate our eggs.
Yeah, we basically ate our eggs.
We literally went there, we ate eggs, and we left.
They give you like a nice little salt packet though, so we had a little bit of salt.
Yeah, salt and eggs.
Yeah, it was good.
But yeah, it was still a cool experience. It's cool to go to like a
That's proof that all you need
area.
is eggs. If nothing else, if you sell eggs, people are gonna be happy.
I don't know, man. Not if you're a vegan, but
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, so that was that day. Like that was the day that we basically did all our stuff. By the way, we were only there for one day.
Well, we were
one
there
night,
for
so-
2 nights, so but that
Really?
means yeah.
Oh yeah, you're right.
That
we
means
were.
one full day that we did
Yeah.
everything, which is I think a good amount of time.
Yeah,
That's
you
what
don't need a whole lot of time.
On the
in
way
Hakone.
there, you go to the castle. Day 2, you do your stuff.
Yeah.
We got a massage that night at our hotel.
Yeah,
So
what was it called again?
A shiatsu massage.
Yeah, shiatsu, yeah.
So basically the one where they like pinpoint all your pressure points and it's so painful. But apparently I looked it up afterwards and it's not actually meant to be that painful. It's meant to be like good pain. Mine was not good pain. Mine was like, ow, I am hurting a lot.
Yeah, my guy, it wasn't too bad, to be honest. It wasn't that painful, but there were some parts that were. And especially me, like, I can't stand Ellie, like, buzzing me, so I've got, like, this big buzzy thing, which I was, like, you know, really
When Saumya says
fight.
buzzing me, he means if I try to, like, give him, like, a squeeze on his, like, waist,
Yeah.
he freaks out. Like.
Yeah, so I was, like, trying hard not to freak out at him.
See,
Like-
all I was thinking when she was doing my neck was I was like, oh god, at what point do I say, okay, you're literally about to just like kill
Yeah.
me? But so they did our whole body. It was really good. I felt really bad because when they arrived, I went and opened the door and they started to greet themselves and I realised I wasn't wearing my face mask. So they were in the middle of talking and I literally ran away. But it's because I was like, oh crap, I need to get my face mask. So I ran and put it on, but they probably thought I was just really rude.
Yeah, also, they didn't know any English, we didn't know any Japanese, so there was a lot of, like, you know, them, like, repeating the same thing, trying to get us to turn around, get us
Well, yeah,
in
like,
certain
for example,
positions.
right at the start, you lie on your side. And I don't know how to say side in Japanese. They didn't know how to say it in English. So she had to, like, demonstrate. And then from there, I
Yeah.
feel like it was kind of okay. Like, she'd just, like, move my body for what she needed. But yeah, it was good. It was really
Yeah.
good to get.
There was one point where the guy was like, he was saying something about my shoulders, and what he was wanting was me to just lie on my back, like, just with my arms straight down, right? But he kept, like, kind of pointing at my shoulders because he wanted to, like, square my shoulders. And I was like, I don't know what you want. And I was wearing that yukata. So I was like, oh, I get, he wants me to, like, take it off. So I was, like, taking off. I was, like, revealing my my shoulders, you know, like, taking off. He's like, no. He was, like, saying something. I was like, what? And it looked like I was a really nervous amateur porn star, like, taking off, just revealing the shoulders, like, you know, like, being real nervous about it. And he was like, no, oh god.
But yeah, we didn't know what we were meant to do. We were like, man, are we meant to take our clothes off or what? So I was, like, fully clothed and wearing my yukata.
Yeah.
And they didn't tell us to take the clothes off or anything.
Yeah.
The lady spoke a little bit more English, so me and her could kind of communicate, but there was just that confusion at the start. Because, like, I spoke a little bit Japanese, she spoke a little bit English, so we could kind of get by.
Yeah, I wasn't too sure about the massage when it was happening, but afterwards, when we were, like, walking outside, man, I felt so good. Like, my back hadn't felt that good in a long time. I was like, damn, if I got that every night, like, how much happier would I be?
Yeah.
Because I felt great.
Yeah, you were like at the time, Saumya kept being like, oh my god, I need to do this once a week. This is so
Yeah.
good.
But yeah, that was basically it. And then the next day was our you know, going back to Tokyo day. But in the morning we decided to go to the Sengokuhara Pampas grass fields. Right now, if you look up like what to do in Hakone, basically the things that we did the day before, right, the volcanic stuff, and then like actually the shrine. That's basically it.
Or Hakone was also famous for having a bajillion museums.
That's true. Yeah,
we didn't go
there's
to
many
any
museums.
of them, but there's a lot of museums.
Yeah, and the way in, there's so many science museums. But they're kind of just random museums that it's like, you wouldn't really go to Hakone for. Like, for example, they had like a Venetian
glass museum, which did look pretty cool. It had big glass trees outside, and they have a big open air museum.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong, it's pretty cool, but, you know, I can't imagine us going there just for a museum.
Yeah.
So,
But
yeah.
one of the things on the list to do, after all of those things, is the Pampas grass field.
Yeah, the grass fields was a thing to do, and it turns out it was right next to our hotel, so we were like, sweet. And we wanted to go nice and early, so we had time to do everything there. Basically, it's just a huge grass field at the bottom of this, like, almost kind of like a mountain range, like hilly kind of place, with like a lot of trees, but there's a clear line between the trees and the grass.
And when Saumya says grass, if you don't know what Pampas grass is, it's like those really tall, kind of like firm things. They look like feathers.
Yeah, it basically looks like a wheat field.
Yeah, but like
in fact,
more
maybe
feathery.
it is a wheat field.
No, it's Pampas grass. So
Okay.
It's more feathery looking.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, so like to give you an idea, it looks pretty cool because it's like this like wheat coloured,
Yeah.
like beigey, and they're all just like swaying in the wind, looking
Yeah.
all majestic.
So there's this really nice pathway through it. You walk to the top.
There
It's
are signs
nice.
everywhere being like, beware of the wild boars, so I was a
Yeah.
little bit anxious.
Yeah. And to be honest with you, like, it was nice, but I don't understand why it was so highly rated
Yeah.
on all the websites. It's like, oh man, you got to go there, and then when you're there, you're like, it's grass.
And it's a short walk. It's
Yeah,
like
it's
you
very
go to the
short.
top and then
Yeah.
you go back down. And if
Yeah.
you weren't, we were stopping to like take photos and stuff. But if you just went up and down, it would take like 15 minutes, yeah.
if that. And it's a dead end at the top, and we thought, oh man, maybe like, you know, there's a reason why there's a dead. Maybe a landslide had happened one day or something, and then they had to like stop the path. But I looked it up. Nope, the dead end's always been there. It's always been.
But it's just like it's a really
That's what it
sudden
is.
dead end. You get to
Yeah.
the top, and then there's just like it's blocked off with like big plastic things.
Yeah. So I mean, based on the photos that I looked at, right? So we went early autumn. If you go mid autumn to late autumn, it would look a lot better because the grass is like golden.
Yeah.
You know, it's like golden grass. When we were there, it was still kind of green. So,
Yeah,
so
so
the
the-
color wasn't fully there yet.
The ends of the pampas grass, like the part that looks like the feather, wasn't as like big.
Yeah.
But I feel like normally, like I feel like you would have seen them in like people's houses. They have like a vase with some of the grass sticking out of it,
Right, yeah.
and it's like one of those permanent like they're dried, so they just stay there forever.
Yeah.
So it looks like cool because it's like that everywhere.
Yeah, but if you're in Hakone and you don't have much time and you're like, God damn it, we're not going to be able to make it to the Pampas grass fields, don't worry about it.
Yeah,
It's a grass field.
yeah.
It's, yeah. And like, yeah, I mean, even the path is a straight path, you know, it's not like windy.
And
It
it's
doesn't
gravel.
take you- yeah.
I slipped over. I hurt myself. I've still got like I'm kind of anxious because like I think like a piece of gravel or something it like stabbed directly into my like paw.
Yeah.
So it looked like a perfect like puncture into my like leg, and it's still like a little bit of like a I don't know. It looks like an itchy bite that I just got, but it's still there. So I'm
Yeah,
like, at
I think
what
something's
point-
gonna hatch, eat
Don't
Ellie's
say
leg
that
off.
because
and
that's
then-
genuinely my fear. I'm like, at what point do I like get concerned that I still haven't healed from this injury? And I
There
keep
were
on.
a lot
It's
of
like,
butterflies there. Do butterflies
oh,
sometimes
sorry,
lay their eggs in?
don't put that thought on here. But yeah, sometimes it's really itchy, and I'll itch it without thinking, and then it starts bleeding. So I'm a little
Yeah.
bit worried that I'm going to die. So yeah, that wasn't fun.
Yeah, alright, well that was it for Hakone. That was the end of the trip, right?
We came back the next day.
Alright, yeah, see you later guys. Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.